That tournament gets underway in just about the middle of January, so only 3 months away from the start of the African Cup of Nations as the officials start being introduced into the two teams. We saw briefly a picture before we picked up the back of Joseph Yobo and saw the captain of Mozambique, 36-year-old Chico Bakwani. This is Joseph Yobo then, the Everton captain, 29 years old, central defender. Lots of anticipation in the National Stadium of Abuja for Nigeria to pick up a victory. It would only be their second win of Group B in World Cup qualifying. It might not be enough. At this point in time, it isn't enough. They are 2 points behind Tunisia at the top of the group. So, in a few moments' time, we will have the national anthems of both the inside Nigeria and that of Mozambique. Anthems then of both the Mozambican Mambas and the Nigerian Super Eagles at the National Stadium in Abuja prior to this round 5 match of World Cup qualifying and African Cup of Nations qualifying in the Nigerian Federal Republic. Our match referees today, Mr. Khalid Abdel Rahman from Sudan, and the other referees also from Sudan then, Arif Elton, Awad Baikit and El Fadil Mohammed is the fourth official today. So all the officials then coming from the country of Sudan. It is Nigeria against Mozambique today. The captain's being summoned over towards the match referee, Mr. Abdul Rahman. And there he is as the two teams get acquainted to each other before the action gets underway here. It's always interesting, of course, when the conditions are as slippery as what they are at the National Stadium of Abuja. It changes the game plan a little. The strikers will have different ideas of the shots on target because they want to try and get the ball to skid off the surface. But you have to watch your slides as well when you're going into challenges, and lots of responsibilities for the Sudanese match referee today, because he'll have to be very mindful of the challenges that come in. You see Chico Bakwani, he's a very small figure. I'll tell you what, he's huge as far as footballing exploits. are concerned. The man who bangs in goal, the most capped player for Mozambique. He's the most scoring player for Mozambique as well. The toss of the coin then seems to have been won by Mozambique. Kick-off and side, of course, exchange of the two national colours. So the Yobo thanking the officials prior to the match getting underway. So the man in the picture, Maxa, 22-year-old who plays at the GD Maputo, being drafted into the starting lineup. Campira's in as well, Haji from Peravario, just one of a couple of locally based players that have made the starting lineup today. The other is Campira, the 27-year-old who plays at Mexicane. Otherwise, all the Mozambique's players play away from home. It's a similar situation for Nigeria. No locally based players in the Nigerian starting lineup, which is a very interesting situation, and one that has been criticised a little as far as the team is concerned. Vincent Nyama playing in Hapoel. We've got players from France, from the English Premier League. We've got two players from Sion in Switzerland, Obafemi Waneri and Mohamed Yusuf. We've got Oliver Njana from Hull City. We've got a player from Groningen in Holland as well. That's Adilore. Lokomotiv Moscow, Peter Odemwinji, and Michael Inarama, who makes the starting lineup today for Shaiba Mudu, plays at Esperance de Tunis in Tunisia, of course. Players on the bench, also a mixture of German, Spanish, Kazakh and English Premier League as well. So the Nigerians sticking with the tried and tested. They have 7 changes, but the players that are in the starting lineup have seen international competition before. We're underway then at the National Stadium of Abuja. It's Nigeria, the Super Eagles, against the visiting Mambas of Mozambique. Good afternoon and welcome to this World Cup and African Cup of Nations Round 5 qualifier. It's interesting to see how the Nigerians settle down in the early stages, because they won't want themselves to be upset by an early goal. Talking about that, Nigeria did lead over Tunisia by a goal to nil 23 minutes into the match when Odemwingi had the Super Eagles in front. Just 2 minutes later, however, Saliti had Tunisia level. They came from behind twice to Tunisia to carry the share of the spoils away from home, much to the disappointment of all and sundry in the Nigerian camp. But I must say, on the day, Tunisians did seem to be the better side. Are they going to be the better side today? They certainly need to be the better side, because I'll tell you what, at the same time as this match kicking off, the Tunisians have kicked off against Kenya as well in Rades, and that's going to be a match that will be eagerly watched. You can be sure of that. Both in the same group, of course. Any slipper from Tunisia and Nigeria will suddenly have some sort of hope. Nigeria will be hoping that the Kenyan Harambee Stars will be able to play out of their socks in Rades, as they had promised to do, by the way. Take 2 points out of the Tunisians, and Nigeria winning here against Mozambique would make it even Stevens at the top of the table. And that really would be an interesting situation, with both Tunisia and Nigeria on 9 points. That's all hypothesis, of course. And then into the final round, where Tunisia play away in Mozambique, and Nigeria just a further north up the east coast of Africa against the Harambee Stars in the final round in just 1 month's time. Both Tunisia and Nigeria at the moment seemingly guaranteed of a place in the African Cup of Nations, because Kenya at the bottom of the table only have 3 points. What a cynical challenge we saw from Peter Odemwingi just a few moments ago. The sign that Mozambique have come to play football. Early evening, of course, at the National Stadium. The floodlight will come into full effect pretty soon. This is Kapango, 34-year-old goalkeeper who plays in Egypt with Tessana. Now Haji. Two locally based players getting touches early on, but no problems for Joseph Yobo, and certainly no problems for the Israeli-based and highly experienced Vincent Nyama, back in the starting lineup. Vincent Nyama certainly has enjoyed his football for the Super Eagles. He's played in every match so far in the qualifying, only missed a couple of games during the first stage of qualifying in Africa, when he made way for Dele Ayanukba. Also plays his football in Israel, in a different club though. Since the start of the second round of qualifying, it has been Vincent Inyama who's been in the starting lineup. Here's a man who's back in contention. Like Ben Yakubu, nice to see him back in the colours of the Super Eagles. Finding it having a rather tough time as well. So the first corner kick of the game. Peter Odemwingie across the penalty area and almost fell for Joseph Yobo. Well, the captain just about getting a touch in a very, very prominent position for the Nigerians. And I think the Super Eagles will continue just to build on the confidence of getting themselves into positions like that, particularly from set pieces. Expect to see plenty of Odemwingie in this encounter. Once again, it's the man from Lokomotiv Moscow gets in possession, but I tell you what, Mozambique packing players into their defensive structure. Played by Plaito. Plays around Joseph Yobo, asking for a bit of calm. You saw Albino Nwaneri just trying to calm things down a little bit. Yakubu. Odemwingie once again. Now it's Janito. Jana suggesting that the ball came off a Mozambican player, but the Sudanese referee has suggested that it's gone the other way. So Paito again looking for space in the middle of the park with Janito, who seems to be pretty energetic early on here for the Mozambicans. He's been fouled, free kick to the Mambas. I think one thing that Mozambique would have done after their victory over the Kenyan Harambee Stars just a month ago would have been to have a look at the footage that came out of the Tunisian game and see just exactly where the weaknesses lay in the camp of the Super Eagles. Certainly not being overawed by the situation just at the moment. Still very much a case of early days though in this encounter. 90 minutes to play. No extra time and penalties in the qualifying rounds for the World Cup, of course. It would be a massive disappointment for the Super Eagles if they were not able to qualify for Africa's first World Cup. This is Tiko Bakwani. See how far he's playing inside of his own half, showing just how Mozambique are having a look at the Nigerians early on. Plato forward now. Tiko Bakwani, there's a cheer from the Mozambican supporters. Space down the far side as well, coming from Elias Palembe, one of the Mozambicans who try their trade in the South African Premier League. Mario Monteiro waiting in the penalty area as Mozambique just look to create their first opportunities of the game. Feels that the Nigerian central defensive pairing certainly isn't going to have things completely their own way over the course of the evening. Interesting, all of the changes that have been made by Shaibu Amudu, looking for players perhaps that can really play for their country and go all out and try and make a name for themselves. Here's some interesting play now. Jono with an interesting ball down the far side. This is Enaramo. A little bit static suddenly. The shot will come in, blocked by the Mozambican defence. Suddenly there's a lot of buzz around the National Stadium in Abuja. Peter Odemwingie. Easy pickings for Elias Palembe, who's even pulled back to help Mozambique in a defensive strategy. Forward by Janito. course, there were some matches that were played yesterday. Group A has completed all of their fifth round encounters as once again Mozambique look to utilise that right-hand side to try and penetrate the Nigerian defence. Junito waiting near the edge of the penalty area. Strong figure of Almiro Lobo for Mozambique as well. Cameroon beating Togo by 3-0. Gabon over Morocco by 3-1, leading Cameroon at the top of the table with Gabon. One more round to play. 1 point separating Cameroon and Gabon. They both play away from home on the 14th of November. Egypt beating Zambia by 1-0 away from home, which puts Egypt and Algeria on the same amount of points. Algeria still with a game to play against Rwanda today. Have a look at this sliding challenge away just a moment to go by Hunwaneri. Ghana have already qualified from Africa. Ivory Coast have qualified in Group E. Played to a 1-1 draw against Malawi yesterday to clinch their qualifying spot, dropping points for the first time in 5 matches. Cote d'Ivoire, they could be a fairly tidy challenger for World Cup honours, certainly during the African Cup of Nations as well. Ivory Coast with a resurgence, and Ghana as well. Only side remaining in the FIFA Under-20 World Cup being played in Egypt at the moment. This is Yusuf Ayila from Dynamo Kiev. One thing that you can say about the Nigerians at the moment is that they are playing with plenty of patience as we head up towards the 10 minutes mark. Opportunity now for Giagile. Yakubu. The touch from the Mozambican defender will give the Nigerians their second corner. Only one result is going to be good enough today as far as the Super Eagles supporters are concerned, and detractors of Shaibu Amudu and Daniel Amakachi. That is a victory. Keep the pressure on the Tunisians. So the corner has been taken, headed wide of the target by Aguila. Well, perhaps there was a call from one of his teammates, judging by the reaction from Yusuf Aguila. Ball personnel seem to have gone into hiding somewhat as the Mozambican goalkeeper Kapango has to go and retrieve the ball himself. Does waste a bit of time unnecessarily though. You can see in the background how many empty seats there are at the National Stadium of Abuja. And that can signify two things. One, that the supporters of Nigerian football think that Mozambique aren't going to produce too much in the way of opposition, or two, that there's a bit of national discontent with the Super Eagles. And Waneri goes wide. Mozambique are quick to try and tidy up any gaps that are left when Nigeria are in possession. Olufemi Ajalore trying to find space down the right wing here for Nigeria. Michael Inarama has been given a great opportunity to play in the starting lineup today. Has had a couple of chances that have been given to him by Shaibu Amudu, the man from Esperance in Tunisia. Started against Kenya in the 3-0 victory here at the Abuja National Stadium, and came on as a substitute against Tunisia away from home in Radez. Also came on as a change player against Tunisia when they played here a month ago. They're playing in his consecutive encounter after having missed out in the trip to Mozambique. Dario Monteiro looking for space down the far side and picking out Junito. Poached away though by Olufemi Ajalore. I'll tell you what, he's been working pretty hard so far. So is this man. Peter Arumwinji, the pacey player. Foul from Almiro Lobo. Free kick to Nigeria. Tough man is Almiro Lobo. Has an opportunity in front of goal. The goalkeeper Kapanga didn't seem to be too worried about it all as it went easily past the upright by Ajalore, who continues to be impressive. Got himself into a very good position. Did the man from Groningen in Holland. Really seen Vincent Inyama tested so far in the opening 14 minutes of this encounter. Same must be said for Kapango, even though Nigeria have had more of the possession. And Waneri put under pressure. Ball scooped through by Dario Monteiro. Nobody running off the ball for Mozambique down the right wing. Carries Vincent Inyama. Flicked on by Yakubu. Inaramo looking for the return ball. It goes down the right wing though. Discontent from the home supporters. Easy chase back for Joseph Yobo. Mohamed Yusuf. Nice little touchdown, the near touchdown again, and cover across coming from Mano, 25-year-old central defender based in Egypt with NP. Yusuf will try and luck again. This time it'll be a corner, the third of the game. Conditions seemingly getting a little gloomy over the National Stadium in Abuja. Just transition in twilight between the late afternoon and the early evening. The floodlights given an opportunity to take full effect. Doesn't look so gloomy from that point of view. Kapango waiting. Corner taken short by Yakubu this time. Mozambique for the moment looking to play the long ball up towards the 32-year-old Melody Sundowns player, Dario Monteiro. Really commanded a consistent starting place for the Victoria-based side. Now Tika Bakwani. It's for Paito. All looks just a little static from Mozambique. And I'll tell you what, Nigeria looking pretty organised as far as holding the Mozambicans away from their penalty area. Once again, it's Ajalore. Yusuf Aila. Olivinjana looking for some space. Bidodum Wingi is across on the right-hand side. This is Yakubu trying to get himself into the penalty area. The free kick to the Nigerians. So the foul from Almiro Lobo. That's his job. He's the defensive midfielder, the destroyer. Not a free kick, it's just a throw-in. Punched away by Kapango. I think he had a lot more time than he might have given himself credit for. Now it's Paito. Lobo. Now across to Hattie, and suddenly there's a break on for Elias Palembe. Elias Palembe, nice touch. Oh, not such a nice touch from Dario Monteiro. It's the second part of the Kerry Woodwork. Saves the day for Vincent Inyama. Mott, Noise, Klopp will leave his side misfortune. One could argue his last good fortune. They got them a second bite of the cherry in the first place, but the crossbar has denied Mozambique going in front. Lovely play between the two South African-based players, Elias Palembe and Dario Monteiro. Certainly has brought about a buzz in the National Stadium. Now Plato to orchestrate further problems for the Nigerian Super Eagles. Mohamed Yusuf, Huitara Mwinji, appealed for a handball. Well, that's a handball for sure. Off Mano. Referee says no, ball to hand. I must say the referee is allowing play to continue as best possible here in Abuja. Tico. It would be inconceivable to any Nigerian supporters that Mozambique could travel to the National Stadium of Abuja and actually claim a victory. With the one win then that came for the Mambas, and that was against Kenya in the last match they played, 6th of September at the National Stadium. Other than that, a one draw as well that came against the Nigerians. 2 defeats. Peter Odemwingie once again. Elderson, Chile has done a good job here. One touch too many perhaps. There's such a lot of anticipation from the home supporters. Offside against Monteiro. Any slip up from Nigeria today in a victory for Tunisia, it would be a game-setting match as far as Tunisia. They would be the third African side to qualify for the FIFA World Cup finals in South Africa. Ivory Coast and Ghana already qualified. Cameroon have scored one tough match to play, but they started off rather badly. To the Cameroonian side, they've fought back fabulously over the last little while. Lost against Togo in their opening match away and drew it home against Morocco. Suddenly won against Gabon twice. Then they beat Togo to pick up their 3 wins so far. 1 win away from Cameroon or Gabon qualifying in Group A. So 20 minutes into the match then, Mozambique holding more possession. Group C is interesting as well, with Algeria and Egypt both on 10 points. They meet each other in the final round as well in Cairo. If Algeria do beat Rwanda today in Algiers, then it will be a situation that the Egyptians will have to have a must-win. They do have a 2-goal disadvantage as far as goal difference is concerned. Algerians certainly look as if they do have the upper hand. If they win, of course, over Rwanda, it will increase their goal difference, it will increase their point tally as well. And Algeria looking to make a great fight back as far as reinventing themselves as an international side on the African continent. It would be marvellous if they were to play in the World Cup. Mozambique continue to play spirited football away from home. Plato. Elias Palembe switched over from the right-hand side to the left. Now Miro Lobo, deflection. Saw what happened last time. There was some sort of deflection in the Nigerian penalty area. Crossbar had to intervene behind Vincent Inyama. Of course, while we do look at the top of the 5 World Cup and African Cup of Nations qualifying groups, there is action to be had at the bottom of those groups as well. For the third berth, the final qualifying berth for Angola 2010. Offside against Dario Monteiro, not for the first time. Mozambique and Kenya still doing battle down at the bottom of Group B, which could turn out to be an interesting situation. Mozambique with 4 points, Kenya with 3. Both is only one victory, but Mozambique's 1 point for their home draw against the Super Eagles of Nigeria in round one could very well see them through into the Angolan African Cup of Nations. Ball swung over here by Mohamed Yusuf, tucked away by Campira for a corner. Well, they might be behind on possession, but Nigeria have 4 corners to nil. Had a decent opportunity at the goal of Kapango though for some little while. Comfortable take for Kapango in front of Oliver Njana this time. Inyama clears for Nigeria. Elis Palembe looking live wire again, cleared away by Giagile. Paito. Nice turn in the middle of the park here from Janito. Lacked the space he was looking for on the directories, but finds Paito again. Paito gets behind Mohamed Yusuf. Well, the enterprising play for Mozambique continues to frustrate Shaibu Amudu. Tito Ademwingi. Peter Ademwingi goes his way past Janito. Now what's happened here? The referee has stopped play because there's an injury to Mohamed Yusuf. They seem to be beaten for pace by Baidu down the near side. This will give us a better indication as the ball was played behind the right back of the Super Eagles. There's always going to be a possibility of an injury when you're playing in slippery conditions, and you can see the water having an effect on the back of the jersey of the man who plays out of Sion. Well, there was the cross, and he went down initially. It didn't look as if there was any problem for Mohamed Yusuf. Good news is that he is back on his feet. The left knee coming under scrutiny. Very tall referee, Mr. Khalid Abdul Rahman, waiting for the signal from the physiotherapist of the Super Eagles to see that Mohamed Yusuf is fit to continue. Does look as if he's running pretty freely though. There's a problem in the Mozambican camp as well. Playback underway then at the National Stadium of Abuja. Nigeria 0, Mozambique 0. At the moment, the Nigerians not creating enough opportunities to force Kapango into making any mistakes. They want to up their work rate. I don't think that will be good enough for Nigeria's prospects if the match does go into half-time, level at 0-0. Peter Ademwingi, Mozambique are down to 10 men just for the moment. See the player sitting next to the touchline receiving medical attention. Foul on Mano. Free kick to Mozambique. At least contesting for the balls there, Michael Inaramo. Nigeria with 4 fouls in the match so far. Haven't scored a goal yet. Tico Bakwani. Elis Palembe is back on the field of play after quite a lengthy injury break. Now, Yusuf's gone down again. and there was nobody around him when he went down, so obviously that left knee is bothering him more than what was initially the situation. We might see an early defensive substitution at right back for Nigeria. It's not good news. I'd say the Nigerian Red Cross do a good job both in the Globe Premier League and at international events whenever the Nigerian national teams are playing. Saitawu, the Marseille defender, is amongst the substitutes. Golden Wanderers Daniel Shito is there as well. So it'll be interesting to see which of those two players comes on, or maybe there's a change in strategy from Shaibu Amudu and he sends on a more attacking player. Time will tell. The other option, of course, is that Mohamed Yusuf returns to the field of play. Now here's the man who was involved in that situation, Baito. Monteiro goes back to Genito. Moزambique, when they do push forward, they do have a lot of flair about them, but that's overcooked. Campira working his way down the right-hand touchline for Mozambique. Seemed to just stop his run, and at the same time, the ball was released by Ellis Palembe. Palembe once again. Dario Monteiro. Tidied up by the captain, Joseph Yobo himself. The referee playing an advantage here to the Mozambicans. Ball popped over the top by Meja. So half an hour in to this encounter, still no goals. That's because if it's Daniel Shito who has moved across to the near side touchline, the Bolton Wanderers defender who is about to be introduced by Shaibu Amudu. So Nigeria could be forced into making their first change of the game due to injury. There's still an hour to play. There you see Morbinap in front of Abena and Waneri. Daniel Shitu, one of the more experienced players in the setup for the Super Eagles, at 29 years old. Only played one match in the second part of the qualifying tournament for World Cup honours, and that was against Mozambique, and they played away at the National Stadium, awfully long time ago now. Mozambicans continue to play with a lot of flair. Peter Odewingie halfway inside of his own half. That shows just how under pressure the Super Eagles are at the moment. Well, it's been 6.5 months since Daniel Shitu has played for the Nigerian Super Eagles, and he'll come on here to take the place of Mohamed Yusuf. Flair again coming from Elias Palembe. First time ball in the area, easy save for Nyoma. Plato chasing successfully, and the ball came off the left back for Mozambique. So Waneri moves over towards the right back position. The ball's into the penalty area. Oh, that was so close to Kapango, giving away an opportunity. He might have just got a fingertip to it, which took the ball past Enaramo. Disbelief from the Super Eagles supporters. Well, it's a very good ball. It's practiced Enaramo with the ball in the area, and there's the fingertip. It takes it past Odewingie. Plays it short. Away by Campira. Nigerians looking for the long ball to be played this time. Away by Paito. And Waneri lifts it back into the area, cleared away by Mano. Certainly Nigeria looking to force the issue here with 11.5 minutes to play before half time in Abuja. Even Joseph Yobo pushing forward. It's going to be a goal kick. Again, see the ball personnel in your picture when you have a wide shot behind the goal of Gabango. None of them willing to help the Mozambican goalkeeper retrieve the ball. I'm sure that he's not going to be perplexed by that, because the time wasting is not in favour of the Super Eagles. So I'm not quite sure of that strategy, but there's one. Over back at central defence for Nigeria after his little forage up the field of play. Forward by Janito. Headed clear by Elderson and Chiashile, who's been blown for the foul, and he exchanges some words with Elias Palembe. Question asked by the 25-year-old South African-based striker come winger. More of a winger, I think, than a direct striker. Dario Matera has been pretty forceful for Mozambique today. He has had that one opportunity that found the crossbar, Vincent Inyama's goal at the second attempt. Been well watched, though, by the central defensive pairing of Yobo and Waneri. Now that Waneri is at right back, of course, that responsibility will change towards Daniel Shitu. But in the last 5 minutes, Nigeria showing some enterprise. Forward by Yajile. Now Odemwingie. Odemwingie holds up against Campira. Near post. Scrambled away by Mozambique. Best moment of the game, arguably, for Shaiba Amuru. For a moment, the Mozambican defence was tested. Meisha, 22-year-old Maputo-based player, had the ball away in the nick of time. Fifth corner of the game for Nigeria. Headed away this time by Mano. Odemwingie. Here this time by Paito. But really, Nigeria starting to apply the pressure. Ajilore. Looking for a return pass, it never came. Now an opportunity for Ayila. Dab clear again by Meisha. Playing with a lot of heart, a lot of enthusiasm are the Mozambican Mambas. Chinito. Miro Lobo out wide to Campira. Dario Montero. Turn pass from Tico. Tico finds Montero offside once again. Judging by his reaction. Well, he's frustrated with himself, I think, because it's the third time he's been caught offside. In fact, only the second. Silly challenge, really, that from Abina and Waneri as he brings down Almiro Lobo. Just stood up right into the path of the Mozambican holding midfielder. Well, despite the Super Eagles really starting to apply the pressure from around about the 35th minute mark, which is only 2.5 minutes to go. Mozambique are holding their own, no doubt about that. Paito knocked away by Seli Olipinjana. Olipinjana really has been pretty defensive today for Nigeria, and he plays for Hull City. Mozambicans have certainly preferred the right-hand side of attack today, and they tried again. It's a great opportunity for Dario Monteiro. He's getting in amongst the Nigerian defenders, and he's certainly on the turn there. Wasn't able to wrap his foot around the ball as much as he might have wanted to. Once the wet conditions make it difficult to be able to perform the pirouette. Chile looking for Peter Odemwingie. Measure across to make the challenge. Don't think we've seen the best this evening of Ayekbeni Yakubu. Has got himself into some good positions, and he is using his body position very well to try and get himself into that Mozambican penalty area. I'll tell you what, the news isn't good for Nigeria, because in Radez, Tunisia lead over Kenya by 1-0. It's not the news that the Super Eagles would have wanted, because they still sit at a goalless situation here. As we said, if that continues and the Tunisians are able to win that match, then it's all over as far as the World Cup is concerned. Sam Jomar, just 6 minutes into the match against Kenya, opening the scoring. Yeah, an opportunity for the Nigerians, again falls into no man's land. Elias Palembe. Back it goes to that favoured right-hand side. Out by Daniel Shitu. 5 minutes to play before half-time at the National Stadium in Abuja. Nigeria 0, Mozambique 0. Odemwingie. Now Yakubu. Oh, that's a lovely piece of skill from Paito. Continuing with his run, Ayekbeni Yakubu catching the Mozambican left back. No complaints, no problems. Mozambique are here to play football. Did a good job at the moment. It'd be rather incredible if they were able to hold the Nigerian Super Eagles in Abuja into a draw, or even go better than that. I'm sure that would be their aim, is to cause one of the biggest upsets in Group B. Kampira, Palembe not able to turn around there, Shejeli. Now Nigeria looking for space once again with Adelore. Adelore with space here! Knocked away by Kapengo. Here by Meisha. Susan Waneri. Now Olavinjana. Tika Bakwani need all of his experience. Another opportunity for Palembe, just goes behind Dario Monteiro. Ball headed clear by the central defender Mano. Olavinjana once again, slowly but surely pushing more and more up the field of play from his holding midfield role. This is Yakubu, again contained by the Mozambicans. Now Peter Odemwingie. 2 minutes to play before the break. There will be some time added on, because we did see injuries. The substitution for Mohamed Yusuf. Elderson is here, Chile, not able to keep the ball in play. This is a cracking shot from Olufemi Ajolore. From behind the goal of Kapango, his best save of the match. Look at the anticipation from the coach of Nigeria. Here's the man who had the shot too, Ajolore. He's doing a lot of hard work in the middle of the park for the Super Eagles. Now, Kapango might have sprained a wrist with that ball that was shot so venomously by the Groningen midfielder. Nice to see the depth that is available to the Nigerian Super Eagles, and one would anticipate nothing less than that as far as the strength of Nigerian football is concerned, and the depth in the camp. And you can do without Jean-Michel Obi, Nedo Abasi, Haitawo, Matu Uche, Kalu and Ikechukwu both play their football in Spain. And you're either looking for something desperate, or you have the depth to be able to justify making those sort of changes. Had a good game so far, has Dario Monteiro. What about that shot against the crossbar halfway through the first half? Now, Moçambique have not had much in the way of free kicks. They do have one here. Very ambitious from that range to go directly to the Nigerian goal, but Vincent Nyama, very experienced campaigner. Peter Odemwingie, just as experienced. Nyama with his 43rd cap for the Super Eagles tonight. Ball through the middle by Janito. Dario Monteiro looking for a bit of support. We are in stoppage time at the National Stadium in Abuja. No goals, Nigeria and Mozambique. Mozambique with the ball against Vincent Nyama's crossbar. Kapango having to save from Olufemi Ajolore more recently. Now Elias Palembe. Almiro Lobo. You're seeing the Mozambican players that contest places in the Premiership in South Africa having to play with each other for a change when they pull on the red jersey of the Mambas. Odemwingie once again. 1 minute of stoppage time played at the National Stadium. Headed away once again by Campira. The bigger defence has been pretty well organised and quite solid as well. There have been times though that Nigeria have been able to find a bit of space, no more so than Ajolore, and we've seen chances for Yakubu as well as Enaramo. It's nice work by Plato. It's half time in Abuja. Nigeria have had their chances, but so have the Mozambicans. It's been entertaining football all around. Substitution as well for Shaiba Mudu, who had to take off Yusuf for Daniel Shitu. But at half-time at the National Stadium, with Nigeria and Mozambique looking for the valuable points. Don't forget, Tunisia leading by a goal to nil over Kenya. It's all to play for in Nigeria. Nigeria-Mozambique level at half-time. Scores 0-0.
So that's the story then from a national stadium in Abuja, a situation that really augurs badly for the Super Eagles. That's not where they want things to be. They're being held to a 0-0 draw by Mozambique, who have been content to sit back and try and hit on the counter, and we've seen how dangerous they've looked. Let's just get some quick thoughts here. William, your thoughts on that first half?
Well, you can see that we are definitely to get a goal, a quick one. But the Mozambicans, they intend to, stay in order to catch us in a counter-attack. We need to score one goal to unsettle them. Definitely, I know we're going to score, but I don't know when. you know, our strikers, they tend to be, you know, in a hurry towards the Mozambique's 18-yard box. They have to cool down. The goal will come, but when it comes, we don't know. But they have to be always too in a hurry. They must be careful in counter-attack.
All right, and as far that's Nigeria rather having to make it all the running. I mean, they're the ones that desperately need the points. Not to say that Mozambique don't, but I think that Paulito, that they'll be happy with the way things stand in Mozambique.
Yeah, Mozambique can be pleased with the first half. You know, 0-0 at the moment is perfect for us. We managed to stay nice and compact. You can see wherever Nigerian player has the ball, we were 3-4 Mozambican players behind. You understand? We're always together. We're playing together as a team, especially when defensively we're doing marvelous well. You understand? We were a team, especially with defending. We had the best chance. The ball hit the crossbar. You understand? One chance we should have taken, but it's part of the game. But so far so good. You know, 0-0 is very, very nice for us.
Very nice for Mozambique. Not so nice for the Super Eagles. We'll have a look at the highlights after this. Welcome back to the World Football Show, where we're focusing on World Cup qualifying action. And of course in Africa, it's also Africa Cup of Nations qualifying matches here, not just the World Cup at stake. So those are some of the latest scores. 0-0 in our live game. And then in Tunisia, well, the Carthage Eagles are exactly where they want to be. 1-0 up against Kenya. And as things stand, Nigeria would be on their way out of World Cup. They wouldn't be making the trip. Benin are leading against Ghana. They're also still fighting for a place at the Nations Cup, Benin. So it's important for them to get a result there. Otherwise, they could let Sudan in. Right. Let's now focus on our game out at the Abuja National Stadium, Nigeria against Mozambique. Let's have a look at some of the highlights from that first half. Right, this is now in the 18th minute, a good run here. A bit of a miscue there from Dario, but the follow-up shot was a great one.
Yeah, great one, great chance.
Crossbar came to the rescue there. You can see it was quite close. Even the coach was off his bench. He misses it.
The first one?
Yeah.
So it's a great shot. Great shot.
Dario Montero, the Super Sport United man there with a shot there, and quite an escape, the crossbar coming to the rescue. Then the next one we go on to was a chance here. Great cross coming in from Olufin Jana. Good work from the keeper.
That's a nice save. Very full save. Very full save.
And a good thing,
not for that touch, it would have been a goal from
and the good thing that you can see, as you can see, whatever we defend, enough players, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4 players against one. A lot of players behind the ball. That is very important.
Took a deflection there, but a crucial touch there from Kapango, because Odumiji was lurking in the background there. So that was a real chance for Nigeria there, but the keeper making a crucial touch. And then the next opportunity as well, I did go for, this is now Peter Odemungi, looking very dangerous here.
He should have lobbed the ball behind the goalkeeper. But all the same, you know, it was too close for him to, you know, lift the ball up.
Keeper did well there. I mean, they kept he did keep things tight, because Odemungi didn't really have anything to aim at there, Paulito.
Yeah, in the goalkeeper, his position is, you know, it's always in the right position. You know? And the second ball, we always win in second ball. You know? Wherever they're attacking, we got enough players to defend. All those second balls we win. That's important. That's a key, you know, in our defensive lineup.
It's something that I think Shaibu Amodi will have to have a look at, because if you don't have the numbers in the box, you're going to have problems. Let's go then to the next opportunity. It fell the way of Nigeria again. It's a crack of a shot. Ajilore, who's been the most dangerous looking player in this Nigerian side.
That was a good save again from the goalkeeper. Some goalkeepers will bring it back to the playing field, but you see he parried towards his left hand side. That was a good save.
I think that must be another option for Nigeria, trying to hit from out of the box.
Yes, because it's too crowded in there, and I think that was another crucial save just before half time. So then that's the situation as it stands. What would you say then from a Nigerian point of view? Any changes that you'd like to see?
No, we have to leave the team as it is now. What we do have to cool down when coming towards the goal area. We have to cool down and time our runs. We don't make runs, especially during corner kicks, whereby we do stand statically there in the 18 box there. We have to start making some movement within the 18 so that the corner kick taker will, locate one or two players.
Kubu hasn't played for a while. He's been very quiet in this game. What did you think of his contribution?
You can see he's forceful there in front. We know that he's just back from injury, but hopefully, if we start taking our chances, our runs and everything, hopefully he might score.
Paulito, Martin Noy, what do you think he'll be saying to his team?
Pressure is getting on Nigerian side. Defensively we're doing well. We've got enough numbers. But going forward, wherever we break, we need numbers, to surprise them. Otherwise, we don't want to score goal. Defense, second half, we need to come with different approach, with different game plan. Understand? Because the first half was okay. It was okay, not conceding goal. Second half, I think we can see that it's possible. We need numbers going forward.
There you go. That's the situation. They've been happy in the first half to just absorb the pressure, have the numbers, and it's worked perfectly. You'd like to see more commitment, I think, from the Super Eagles. They need to throw a few more bodies forward to counter the number of defenders that Mozambique are using currently. So serious hard work lies ahead for the Super Eagles. We've already mentioned the score coming from the Rade Stadium in Tunis, where Tunisia are leading Kenya by 1-0. That doesn't augur well at all for the Super Eagles. They desperately need a goal from somewhere to keep this thing alive and take it to the next goal. When we come back, it's the second half.
Official sponsor of the 2010 FIFA World Cup.
The new Ford Ranger is tough. We've heard a couple of urban myths we just had to put to the test. First, the new Ford Ranger is so tough it can tow a young African elephant. Another is that it can carry enough fireworks to light up Cape Town Harbour on New Year's Eve. And finally, it can withstand a direct hit from a wrecking ball. No! That went up quite well.
Out of Nigeria, the heart of Africa, comes the financial institution totally committed to you. Building on our heritage of excellence, we create solutions to suit your business needs. That we can follow. FCMB, my bank and I.
Oh, that's humongous. That's great. What an over this has been. And has gone all the way.
The champions collide in the ultimate 20-over competition. The ICC Champions League 2020 live on SuperSport.
Follow the stars to where they shine brightest. The UEFA Champions League. Follow the live star-studded action of the crucial group stages. World football lives on SuperSport.
MTN, official sponsor of the 2010 FIFA World Cup.
Welcome back to the National Stadium of Abuja. By the look of things, a pretty prolonged half-time at the National Stadium. Half-time though, Nigeria 0, Mozambique 0. Getting ever darker across the top of the National Stadium, and we have had plenty of rain throughout the course of the afternoon as well. But no goals in this encounter so far between the Super Eagles and Mozambique. It's certainly not going the way the Super Eagles had wanted to, because don't forget that 6 minutes into the match in Radez at the 7th of November Stadium there, Issam Jomar for Tunisia ahead of Kenya by 1-0. That's the half-time score, by the way. So Tunisia at the moment, the way things stand, really would be clinching their place in the World Cup finals, take them up to 11 points. Nigeria at the moment will have 7, 1 match to play each, game, set and match. Nigeria would have to try and win the African Cup of Nations title as a consolation prize rather than going to the World Cup. I'm sure that Nigeria, though, would love to go to the World Cup finals. What they need to do, though, is to win this match. It's a must-win situation. The next match as well, away at the Harambee Stars on the 14th, I beg your pardon, of November, is a must-win as well. And somewhere along the line, Mozambiquans' hopes, of course, in upset will continue. But somewhere along the line as well, Nigerian hopes will be that Tunisia will slip up, but the Harambee Stars will grab an equaliser. Well, that's the Mozambicans at home will do what they did to the Nigerians on the 29th of March, and that is to play to a goalless draw. Nigerians winning away at the Harambee Stars would make it interesting at the top of the table. But what does make it more interesting is that Tunisia have a +4 goal difference. Nigeria have a +3. That might all come down to that at the end of the day as well. So lots of connotations as far as Group B is concerned. They're not the only group to have connotations. The only 2 groups that have been decided so far. Ghana in Group D ahead of Mali, Benin and Sudan. Ivory Coast ahead of Burkina Faso, Malawi and Guinea. And still, Malawi and Guinea have an opportunity to try and force their way into contention for the African Cup of Nations. Sudan and Benin as well in Group D. Zambia look as if they have a good opportunity to qualify for the AFCON in Group C. Mozambique and Kenya arguably in Group B, and Togo and Morocco out of Group A. So A, B and C groups still to be decided. If matters stay the way they are at the moment in both of the matches that are being played at the moment in Group B, then we will have our 3rd confirmed participant for the FIFA World Cup 2010 finals in South Africa. There is the coach of Mozambique, Mr. Mark Noyes. I think he'll be quite happy with what he's seen so far as the Mozambican outfit are concerned. Peter Odemwingie perhaps looking for a little bit more from his side as far as the second half is concerned. He has been creating some space and he's been getting some support, not enough to have broken the deadlock so far. Goalkeeper Vincent Inyama. The match referee, Mr. Khaled Abdel Rahman, gets us underway for what should be an intriguing second half, if not a pulsating one, depending which Nigerian side come out of the dressing room. It's 0-0 at half-time. It's all to play for now for the Nigerians. Mozambicans would have had nothing more but an upset on their minds travelling to Abuja after seeing the Tunisians play to a 2-2 draw here a month ago. Judging from what they've seen in the first half, I'm sure Mark Noyes, their Dutch coach, would have made it very clear that they do stand a chance here. They certainly have created chances, opportunities in front of goal, but they've had to defend some as well. Obino Nwaneri deputising at left back, or right back, beg your pardon, after the injury to Mohamed Yusuf, whose place was taken by Daniel Shitu in the first half. 32 minutes into the match. Mohamed Yusuf pulling up with a left knee injury. Ajilore will be hoping to try and replicate his performance here in the second half. He had a pretty entertaining first half. There is Ajilore at a cracking shot that was knocked away from in front of goal by Kapango. Nothing in the way of protest coming from the lips of the Dutch-based Nigerian midfielder. It is the opening free kick of the second half, taken by Peter Odemwingie. Odemwingie goes to the back post. Kapango punches for a corner. Been one-way traffic as far as the corner county is concerned. Mozambique yet to earn their first corner of the game. Very key ball played in by Peter Wingi. Players bursting their way into the penalty area. One of them, Michael Enaramo. The first corner kick of the second half. Enaramo looking for space once again. Knocked away by Kempira. Offside against Peter Wingi. Far side assistant referee, Mr. Awad Bakayad. He's been looking for space the whole game so far. He's been playing with pace, he's been playing with intelligence. Looking for some of his teammates to reciprocate with positioning and then being able to deliver the final blow from the quality of his balls. Ball knocked away by Mesha for Mozambique. Picked up by Olafinjana. Now in Waneri. One of the more impressive plays for Mozambique tonight has been Baito, but here's a chance in front of goal. What does the referee say here? Mesha was involved. No foul, says the Sudanese referee. Well, the Nigerian supporters wishing something to happen. Olafinjana once again. Shitu. Enaramo doing well to hold off his defender Mesha, and still the pressure coming. This is Odemwingie. Didn't really get the first touch he was looking for. Space now for Waneri. Keepers backing away. Miscues. Cleared away by Mesha once again. This is the sort of play we had anticipated from the Super Eagles right from the outset of the game. Ajalore almost dispossessed by Dario Monteiro. Shitu back to Vincent Nyama. Offside against the Super Eagles. Well, there's an indication that they are coming out to play here in the second half. It's the first offside of the second half. I think it's only the second time Nigeria have been caught offside during the course of the match. Joseph Yobo escapes from Dario Monteiro. Oh, a little slip on the ball from Yusuf Ayila. No damage done. Just as we saw in the first half, Mozambique starting just a little on the defensive side. One can understand that. Then slowly but surely as the match progressed, or the half progressed, we did see Mozambique growing in confidence, finding that yes, they could contest on an even basis, an equal basis with the Super Eagles. Odemwingie and Waneri down the right-hand side. Odemwingie with other ideas. Straight down the middle of the park. Enaramo fouled. Free kick Nigeria. Delightful little ball played through, and he was just caught from behind by the central defender Mano. Mozambique, to their credit, they might have only scored 2 goals in Group B, but they've only conceded 4 at the same time. 2 of those were against Tunisia on the 6th of June, 2 against Kenya on the 20th of June. They haven't conceded a goal since the 20th of June, have the Mozambicans. They've only played 1 match since then. There's an opportunity now from the free kick. Kapango saves off Odemwingie. There's another opportunity now in front of goal in a row. Gone wide. That would have been part of the discussion at half-time when you saw Odemwingie talking to his teammates. I'll knock the ball in the area. It's up to you to be able to knock it away into the back of the net. Kapango there with a save for Mozambique. Odemwingie persistent. Inarama almost with a free header behind Mesha. Faito, Chico, haven't seen Chico with an opportunity in front of goal just yet for the Mozambicans. Mano clears this time, finds Kempira. Mozambican supporters in the National Stadium of Abuja, hoping that their side can spring something of a surprise here. Ball came off the head of Nwaneri. Seemed to know exactly where it had gone to, asking for better communication with his teammates, or from his teammates even. Yobo, captain of Nigeria, puts a lot of responsibility on his shoulders. Flicked on by Yakubu. Inaramo. Faito's done another fabulous job of saving for Mozambique. Nwaneri now. Once again the pressure coming from Olofinjana, who seems to want to play a more attacking role. Odemwingie. No foul, says the referee, and Mozambique it plays forward. It's 3 against 3. Palembe. Dario Monteiro should have the shot, doesn't. Wasted opportunity. Chance now for Janito. Shiju with the clearance. Another chance for Monteiro. In fact, I think that was Lobo. Shiju eventually a much better clearance, but Mozambique suddenly piling on the pressure. Chika Bakwani goes back to Faito. Mozambique in numbers suddenly showing what they're capable of. Looks like there's an injury here to Olofinjana. We saw a lefty injury seeing the end of the match for Mohamed Yusuf. This is a right ankle injury now for say Olofinjana. About those opportunities for Mozambique in just a little while. They're all standing around the area looking to pepper the shot at the goal of Vincent Inyama. Dario Monteiro had the ball on his weaker left boot and seemed reluctant to have the shot first time. There's a chance for Elias Palembe as well. Say Olofinjana makes his way to the touchline. Shaibu Amudu looks frustrated. We're going to have a change in personnel for the Super Eagles. Obafemi Martins is going to come on 10 minutes into the second half. Ben Yakubu gets a huge cheer, as does Obafemi Martins. Fabulous to see Obafemi Martins as well back in the colours of the Super Eagles. Hasn't played at this stage of the competition. The last time he played, in fact, was against Mozambique. That's rather incredible. It's been a long layoff as far as Martins is concerned. And here we see perhaps where the injury took place. Was that a handball? It was a handball, in fact. 15 fouls over the course of the evening so far, 11 of them to Nigeria. That's not a great surprise. They are the side that are looking to show impetus here. Faito does the tidying up once again in front of Yusuf Aida. a bit surprised that the corner kick's been given against him, but I don't think there can be any problems as far as that is concerned. Maybe he was hoping the challenge from behind would have been spotted by Mr. Khalid Abdul Rahman. 7 corners in the match, no goals yet. Headed goalwards by Olufinjana, who's back on for Nigeria. Palembe back to Mesha. So already Super Eagles have made 2 substitutions, one in the first half, one in the second. Forward by Joseph Yobo, headed away by Mano. Still, Zanito continues to work pretty hard in the middle of the park. It is Palembe now having to chase after Olufinjana. Enaramo. Free kick to Nigeria. And Elmiro Lobo gets a bit of retaliation from Enaramo, showing some more desperation in the Nigerian camp. Stuff, and suddenly some confidence shown by Kapango. Still things not quite going the way of Nigeria. Here's Obafemi Martins. Headed away easily by Mesha, 22-year-old central defender for Mozambique. Enaramo, Odemwingie, now Nwaneri. Oh, acrobatic stuff from Mesha in front of goal, finds Elias Palembe. Back it comes from Dario Monteiro. Splendid work from Janito. Gets another touch on it as well. Finds Tico. And Mozambique have mounted a counter-attack. It has been with flair, it's been with enthusiasm, it's been with quality as well. Elias Palembe continues to challenge Ishiajide. It's a nice pass. Tico. Janito. Not afraid to display their skills, the Mozambican Mambas. Nigeria with the dominant possession in the second half so far. One hour's football played at the National Stadium of Abuja. Things not going the way of the Super Eagles at the moment. I know they're involved in a tough clash. Mesha says in front of Odemwingie. Even Yobo has pushed forward and stayed forward. Enaramo cleared away by Mano this time. Assistance from Nigeria at the moment. Ishiajide. Opportunity here for Martin from the crossbar. Lovely touches from the Super Eagles. Both sides have hit the crossbar in the match so far. Shot from the substitutes. Left Kapango flat-footed. Obafemi Martins making his name with Inter Milan, where he played 88 times. He played 88 times for Newcastle United as well before they were relegated. Moved over to Wolfsburg in the German Premier League, where he's played 6 times and scored twice already. 25th appearance for Nigeria, almost bringing him his 14th goal. Here's on Mwingi. Martin's causing trouble again. Mesha is having an outstanding game for Mozambique. Signs of a resurgence for Shaibu Mudu as well. Shows how much pressure that Shaibu Mudu is under to have made 2 changes already, albeit to his credit. Only one substitution has been a technical and a tactical one because Yusuf was injured. And Shitu came on. Here come the Mozambicans one more time. Balembe, rather a hidden hope. I'm not sure whether that was meant to be Colwood. Martin Noyes looking for a bit better quality from his wingers. So the final change of the match then comes for Nigeria as Obina Nsofo comes on. Inaromo, the man who makes way. We're only 18 minutes into the second half. So the players that are on the pitch at the moment have to do the business. Victor Obina, 23-year-old, plays at Malaga in Spain. Before that he was also with Inter Milan and then with Chievo in Serie A. So Nigeria sending on a bunch of strikers to see if they can get the better of this very resolute looking Mozambique defence. Earning his 21st cap tonight as Victor Obina. Joseph Yobo finding Humaneri. Paito thought he'd got enough of the ball to try and orchestrate a breakaway. The Mozambicans will be delighted with the way they've played so far. Haven't made a substitution yet. We'll have to make one sooner rather than later. Paito again, but there's space now for the Nigerians. All over the top of the head of Peter Ademwi. Goalkeeper of Mozambique picked up a problem here. Kapango, we saw him in the first half. He just have an issue with his hands after Olufemi Angelore cracked that shot in towards the goal that he saved rather nicely. Maybe it's just a little bit of cramp for the 34-year-old. Tough conditions to play in at the National Stadium in Abuja. Hamstring tweak. That's not surprising, particularly if a goalkeeper has to be watchful while the ball's up the other end of the park and suddenly has to burst his way into contention to try and snuff out an attack from the opposition. Quite often you'll find that the hamstring just has a little tug on it, and of course he will have the benefit of being a goalkeeper, that he doesn't have to leave the field of play to receive medical attention. Well, supporters all over the stadium waiting for the opening goal of this encounter. Plenty of green and white. Some concerned-looking faces, though, amongst the Nigerian supporters. We are 20 minutes into the second half. No goals yet. Nigeria will be desperate to change all of that as soon as Kapango is ready to get us back underway again. There are the Mozambican substitutes. Helder, reserve goalkeeper Cosarel Bino, and in the foreground here all just warming up, ready to make their appearance as soon as Martin Noyes gives the signal. Nigeria have a proud record in the African Cup of Nations, champions in 1980, champions in 1994 as well in Tunisia. They were champions at home in 1980, by the way. 96 they withdrew from the tournament. 98 they didn't participate either in Burkina Faso because they failed to participate in South Africa in 96. Second place in 2000, third place over the next 3 years, quarterfinals in 2008. And they look as if they're going to qualify for 2010 in Angola as well, but they would have preferred to have played in the World Cup. Didn't qualify for Germany in 2006. Angola did in their group. It was a huge shock. They were really looking to qualify for the 2010 and really try and force home that they are a side to be reckoned with in the first African ever World Cup finals. So, rather long break for injury to the Mozambican goalkeeper Kapango, but play back underway then at the National Stadium in Abuja. Odemwingie. Odemwingie once again seems to be playing just a little deeper, and see how much forward, much further forward Ajilore's gone. Obina pulls it back for Nigeria. Strong header away from Paito, but it's all attack at the moment from Nigeria. Meisha with a header. Dario Monteiro, it's a good poach. Palembe. Now Janito. And this is where Mozambique can prove to be the more dangerous of the two sides, is when they get possession and they try and orchestrate that counter-attack. Tika Bakwani finds Dario Monteiro back into the middle of the park. Almiro Lobo to Paito. Tico. Oh, a little nutmeg from Tico as well. Dario Monteiro. This is Palembe. Dario, Tico. With 123 caps, 24 goals for Mozambique. For Tika Bakwani. Keeping himself nicely onside on that occasion. Elias Palembe, nice ball over the top as well. Janito. It's a corner, the first of the game for Mozambique. Comes nearly 70 minutes into the match. Vincent Nyama calling on everybody that'll listen to pick up Mozambican players inside of that Super Eagles penalty area. Monteiro trying to escape from Joseph Yobo. There's a player that's gone down in the area. That's Palembe. This is Paito. Still Paito. That come off the crossbar, the fingertips. Whatever, it was pretty close for Mozambique. It'll be another corner, will it? No, a throw in from Janito this time. Pretty forceful stuff from the left back, Paito. That was fingertips from Vincent Nyama. Well, this is enterprising stuff from the Mambas. Continue to force Nigeria onto the back foot. Once again, it's Janito. This time he goes past his teammate, Haji. Nigeria still having the better of time on the ball so far in this encounter. Now, all that attack from Mozambique suddenly has to be reorganised in defence. Odemwingie gets behind Meisha for the first time. Knocked away by Kapango. Mozambique, just as they did during the first half, starting to play with a lot of flair, with a lot of enthusiasm, plenty of confidence out there for the Mambas. They are sensing an upset. Mano. Meisha now. Tico. This is Campira. Mozambique suddenly enjoying quite a bit of time on the ball, but that's It's going to be a throw in to the Super Eagles. Mozambique have never qualified for the World Cup finals. Have qualified though for the African Cup of Nations, most recently in 1998, where they were bombed out in round 1. In 96 in South Africa, they also lost in the opening round. In 1986 as well. In the 3 times they have qualified for the African Cup of Nations. If they pick up a point here tonight against the Super Eagles, it will give them a lot of confidence in their group. They'll move up to 5 points ahead of the 3 of Kenya. And a place beckoning for their 4th trip to the African Cup of Nations, Angola 2010. The disappointing pass brings Shaibu Amudu off his bench. Daniel Makachi, we see for the first time in your picture. What a player he was for the national side. Scored a couple of cracking goals in the World Cup finals competitions that the Nigerian side have been to. It was in Italy where, in fact, I think it was in the United States that he had a couple of very, very good goals that he scored. All the way back in 1994, Daniel Makachi continues to be involved though with football in Nigeria. Kampira, Mozambique continue to push Nigeria onto the back foot, and it's very enterprising stuff coming from Mark Noyes and the Mambas. Dario Monteiro, Kampira, that was a half-decent ball. I think Palembe was offside. It's a little strong for the South African-based winger. Now Olafinchana, long ball away by Measure. Certainly must be a contender for the man of the match, and he's continues to play outstandingly, as does Paito. Now Mirolobo. Paito on the overlap. Daniel Shitu will come across and challenge. Meantime in Rhodes, Tunisia continue to lead by just the 1 goal over Kenya. Will be enough as matters stand in Rhodes and here at the National Stadium in Abuja for Tunisia to qualify for the World Cup. For Nigeria not to qualify, not have any chance in qualifying anymore. Elias Palembe. Janito leaves it for Lobo. Nice little switch. Gets past Obina and Safor. Finds Paito. Half an hour into the second half. 0-0 in Group B. It's going to be a second consecutive home draw for the Nigerians. And their 4th in total. I think it will be quite a disaster if they're not able to win this encounter. Fans urging Vincent Inyama to get the ball back into play. Meisha has it away for Mozambique. You can't blame the Malaga striker for having a go from that sort of opportunity. Shots on goal have been a rare commodity over the last 10 minutes or so for the Super Eagles. 7 goal attempts for Nigeria. 3 of them have been on target. Mozambique have got 2 on target. Well, it's less than a shot every 10 minutes. In fact, it's a shot every 11 minutes in the match for Nigeria. I mean, that's quite good enough at international level when you're trying to qualify for the FIFA World Cup finals. Not only their fault though. Mozambique have been a real pain in the neck tonight, as far as Nigeria would have said. I'm not saying they are. Nigeria will certainly feel that way. I think they're having a good game. Palembi. Ellison, Ishiashide. Now Palembi once again. Janito caught in possession by Odemwingie. Suddenly Delore trying to orchestrate a bit of pace forward. Here's out of Obafemi Martins. Away by Mesha. Now Chico. Mozambique, no players warming up on the near side touchline. Jose Mar, I think, in the number 6 jersey from Costa del Sol. Nigeria have long since made all of their substitutions. Now Janito once again plays in Hungary with Budapest Honved. Palembi. Such a lot of confidence in this young man. And there's Palembi, 25 years old. Janito, Chico, Dario Monteiro. Going to flick it forward here. Janito once again going to open the defences of the Super Eagles. Away by Nwaneri for a corner. Mozambique have got 2 corners now in the second half. They're only 2 corners of the match. It does look as if Janito is the man who is going to make way as well. He's had a fabulous match for the Mambas of Mozambique. And it is going to be Josemar from Costa del Sol who will come on his place for the remaining part of this encounter. Josemar's full names are Josemar Tiago Machais. Just as you see from Portuguese players, from Brazilian players and players that speak Portuguese language, I like to refer to just one name. Josemar it will be. Ellison Ishiachile has had some good moments in the match for Nigeria. Now Olafinjana has knocked it over the head of Obina. They continue to play with flair and confidence to the Mozambicans. Vincent Nyama with an easier save in front of Palembe. Seems to be almost running out of breath. He's played his heart out tonight, as does this man, Paito. Referee just asking for a little bit of calm on the field. Can understand the desperation from the Super Eagles' point of view. 80 minutes into the match. Just 10 minutes to play plus stoppage time. Still 0-0. Still 1-0 in Radis as well for Tunisia. So Nigeria really needing to step up to the mark here. And Delore now having to come back and play as a defensive midfielder. Zafar looking forward and Wingy picks out Obafemi Martins instead. There's Martins, some space here. The punter has done just enough on occasion to keep the ball out of the back of the net by knocking it down in front of him. We've seen that twice now in the second half already. Palembe continues. Best pass of the match so far. Maybe he's running out of steam a little. Obafemi Martins. Peter Odemwingie. This is the pace that Nigeria might be looking for. Good challenge in the middle of the park by Mano. Eager anticipation from the supporters. The youngster spotting himself on the big screen at the National Stadium of Abuja. Well, the kids love it when they see themselves on telly. Larry's done a pretty solid job deputising for Mohamed Yusuf at right back. And here's an opportunity. Maybe Adam Wingy should have gone on his own on that occasion. He's been playing the supply as well for the entire match so far. It's time to be selfish. Olafinjana. Aguila. Now Adam Wingy once again. Adam Wingy. Still Adam Wingy. Again tackled away by Kapango. Opportunity here for Jalore. Opina. Well, there were 3 players in the Mozambican penalty area. Ball was stuck with some venom from the substitute. That was a shot earlier on from Peter Adamwingi. It was saved by Kapango. Got himself into a lovely piece of space. And for once, Mano was just wrong-footed by the Nigerian number 11. Headed back by Shirjile. For the moment, Mozambique finding themselves under increasing pressure. It looks as if there's some tight legs out there because Mozambique are starting to make a few mistakes. Palembi. Oh, it's a delightful ball from Elias Palembi. Josema. Oh, the lucky deflection from Yobo took it away from Tiko Bakwani. Could have been a very, very interesting moment indeed if the passage of the ball had been allowed to go past the captain of Nigeria. Good challenge though from Yobo. And see on the near side touchline, anxious Shaiba Amuru. Almost as if he'd like to don a pair of boots and rush on and grab the goal that's required here. Adamwingi, Martin looking for a handball. Referee says yes, it's on the edge of the area. Adamwingi says penalty. Referee says no. Free kick. Mark Noyes relieved. Well, the referee's right, you know. Let's give an opportunity for the Mozambican side to get themselves organised as far as their defence is concerned. You see Kapango looking to keep a clean sheet. He managed to keep a clean sheet against Nigeria last time these two teams met. Here's the free kick, Adamwingi takes a big deflection. Mozambique have only had 2 clean sheets, but 2 out of 4 is not bad. It could be 3 out of 5 if they manage to hold on for a draw here. Would have been inconceivable for any Nigerian supporters around the world to have thought that the members of Mozambique could come into their own backyard and with 5 minutes to play in a World Cup qualifier, scores could be level at 0-0. Amiro Lobo clears to Paito. Tiko. Josema. Linking up on the right-hand side with Palembi. Dario Monteiro needs to turn out on his weaker left boot. Nice cover coming from Daniel Shitu. That's a free kick for Mozambique. Amiro Lobo. Very, very strong in the challenge with Obina and Safor. Kylian Safor getting his foot in front of the Mozambican holding midfielder. Paito just trying to calm down the situation as far as the free kick is concerned. Don't rush it. Got all the time in the world here. We could grab a point. And a point, don't forget, could almost be crucial for Mozambique in their quest to qualify for the African Cup of Nations in Angola come January. The free kick into the wall. Lobo has the second bite of the cherry. Nutmegs the referee. Paito in defence. Oh, that's a little careless. And now suddenly Nigeria do have players forward. And Safor, Adamwingi, Odemwingie hesitates first time. Plays it back. Oh, needed a touch from Martin. Amakachi throws his hands in the air. Nudu can't believe what he's seeing here. Delightful play. Just look at the touch that comes in now. Oh, I tell you what, since the four, the Martins could have been heroes. Highly commendable the spirit in which this match has been played tonight, by the way. No yellow cards yet shown by referee Khaled Abdel Rahman. Does look as if Mark Noish might want to make another substitution. In fact, he has. So Haji will make way. The man who comes on is Carlos. Starting to become very desperate as far as the Nigerians are concerned. To be easily saved by Kapanga, who might want to take as much time as he's allowed. No yellow cards in the match so far, so maybe even Kapanga can play a little bit of gamesmanship, even if it does lead to him picking up a booking. Can't imagine that he'll mind too much with that, although I say that if the referee does sense that there is deliberate time wasting and does issue a yellow card, he might even add 30 seconds on to the end of the match. It's the risk you take. And a very, very big performance from Mozambique so far this evening. Nigeria must be wondering what they need to do at international level. In from Paito, finds Almiro Lobo. 1 minute to play. The National Stadium in Abuja. Nigeria 0, Mozambique 0. Peter Odemwingie of Afemi Martins. He's been dunked. To be a free kick into the Super Eagles. They want to take it quickly. They do take it quickly. Odemwingie once again trying to get the better of Carlos. Afemi Martins denied by Paito. I'll tell you what, a goal now for Nigeria. With a system in no great shape for still staying in touch with Tunisia, but I think it would be an absolute disaster and maybe even a little unfair on the Mozambicans now. Tunisia still leading over Kenya by the 6th-minute goal from Jamal. Going to be enough. One fancies to take Tunisia through into the World Cup. Because we are now in stoppage time at the National Stadium in Abuja. Nigeria and Mozambique level at 0-0. The home fans are starting to become very, very frustrated indeed. Certainly a lot of rebuilding to be done from a Nigerian point of view at international level. We'll have to start right after this encounter. If it does end goalless and Nigeria are denied an opportunity to play in the FIFA World Cup finals in Africa, they'll have to concentrate on the African Cup of Nations in Angola. That'll start tomorrow. Odemwingie in the meantime. Odemwingie in the area. Martins gone behind the substitute. Ajilore finds Olapinchana. Aguila. Plenty of green jerseys inside that Mozambican penalty area. Oh, that's wayward. Still hope while the referee's whistle hasn't been raised to his mouth for the final time. Mano is injured for Mozambique, but he's off the field of play. He's a central defender. This is not good for Mozambique. Mark Noish has only made 2 changes. Would want to get another defender on as quickly as possible. And here's what happened. Just on the stretch, he might have had his left ankle clipped by Odemwingie as the ball was played into the penalty area. As I say, is off the field of play, so match can continue. Even Dario Monteiro now coming back to assist defensively. Nearly 2 minutes into stoppage time at the National Stadium in Abuja. All Mozambican supporters must be hanging on the edge of their seats. The same must be said for Nigeria. Very, very anxious indeed, and in a way, sad for Nigerian supporters. Here's Peter Odemwingie. Oh, not straight into the middle of the penalty area. Great save from Kapango. That's not going to be enough as the ball tucked away by a penalty for four. Nigeria scored 2 minutes into stoppage time. Wow. Taking an awfully long time, but the National Stadium in Abuja absolutely erupts. And all of this while, Mozambique have a central defender off for an injury. Obina Nsafo, 22 years old, based in Spain with Malaga. Great save from Kapango first up, but an easy header for Obina Nsafo. Nigeria lead by a goal to nil. Here's the shot, banged in towards the goal by Bofemi Martins. He couldn't steer it clear of the goal. And there was Obina. She headed into the back of the net. Well, here's Martins' shot. Great save, Kapango. He'd been able to tuck it around the post, but it probably would have been all over. Game, set and match. Nigeria are looking to survive, and even if Tunisia do win, which they're looking to do in Rades, Nigeria have managed to grab themselves a lifeline by the absolute skin of their teeth. But they all count at the end of the day. Obina Nsafo is going to be a national hero. I'll tell you what, it might still not be enough though for Nigeria to qualify for the FIFA World Cup finals, because it's just one round of matches still to play. Tunisia away in Mozambique, Nigeria away in Kenya. Can Mozambique threaten Tunisia the way they've threatened Mozambique tonight? One has to commiserate very, very desperately with the Mambas. Goal coming 3 minutes into stoppage time. We're now 4 minutes into stoppage time. Still no final whistle from referee Khalid Abdel Rahman. It's going to be a huge bunch of relief and celebration around the Federal Republic of Nigeria at the final whistle and tomorrow. Mozambique looking to make their final change. It's going to be Masingu is going to come on. Plays for Ferrovario. So Mozambique back up to full strength, but it was while the central defender Manu was off the field of play that the goal was scored. Mozambique weren't able to organise themselves adequately enough defensively. Confirmation of the final substitution of what has been an absolutely pulsating World Cup and African Cup of Nations qualifier. 5 minutes into stoppage time, still no final whistle. Shobo Amudu now suddenly looking confident. It's all over at the National Stadium in Abuja. The goal coming 3 minutes into stoppage time. The saviour of the day, Obina Nsafo. Desperation for Mozambique. One has to feel so sorry for the Mambas, but Nigeria have managed to pull the rabbit out of the hat in front of their own supporters. It took a very, very long time. The substitute, 22-year-old Nsafo, the only goal of the game. Nigeria win this one, and they still keep themselves in contention, possibly waiting for a slip-up from Tunisia. But they have won this game. They move on to 9 points. Tunisia up to 11, and it's still game on in Group B. The final score, Nigeria beating Mozambique by a goal to nil.
Well, we have one hugely relieved man in the studio, and that is Williams Okpara. Williams left it very late there.
Well, a goal is a goal, you know. You can score any moment of the game, but it was a tense one. I thank God for that. As I said earlier, victory will be ours in Jesus' name, and it come to pass.
Okay.
Thank you.
Paulito, Kapango was a man of the match performance. He kept him in the game.
He had great game, you know. Technically, we were perfect, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're showing that our football is growing, you know what I'm saying? No, those so-called big guns in Africa, I don't think they're no longer that's big, and I think we show that the gap between us and them is not that big, you know. It's not like 10 years ago when Nigeria had lost great players of Paras, JJs, Kanu on top of his game. Today the gap is not that big. We show that in the first game today, you know.
Okay, we are first running out of time, so let's quickly have a look at some of the results as well that are coming through. These are some of them are from yesterday as well. But look at that, a good win for Benin there in Group D and beating Ghana, who I'm sure played a second string side. And that means that they are still very much in contention. In fact, I think they've secured a place now at Angola 2010. And then Nigeria, they're edging Mozambique. And then Tunisia, I think that's the final score now. Tunisia then keep their place at the top of the table and 2 points clear of Nigeria. This is what the log looks like then. Nigeria 2 points behind. They travel to Kenya and they will have to hope for that. Well, they have to win that game and then hope that Mozambique can join Nigeria. There is a slight error there, over the points, but never mind, we'll sort that out later. Group D. Have a look at what's happening in Group D, where Ghana have already qualified, and then Benin, as I said, moving into second spot and have now secured a place at Angola 2010. Mali there in fifth. Well, there you have it. Late drama in our game. Fantastic stuff. Just say thanks to my two guests. That's just about all we have time for. Palito, thanks for being with us. And of course, Williams of Para. Nigeria live to fight another day.
Thank God.
Well, we'll see what will happen in the final round of matches. As I said, Nigeria will be away. Those games happen in November. November 14th is when it will all be settled. I hope you'll keep following that road to 2010 on the World of Football show. From all of us here, it's good night.
The day. Adilone with pace here. Knocked away Bakapengo. Boya Finals for four. Nigeria score. 2.5 to finish off in time. What an effort.
You've been watching the FIFA 2010 World Cup qualifiers on SuperSport. Proudly brought to you by MTN, official sponsor of the 2010 FIFA World Cup.
Need to talk to the African continent? Shake it! Then we have the solution. With access to over 46 countries and 3.5 million viewers, if your business is in Africa, you can't afford not to advertise with DSTV ad sales. Contact us for more information on the many advertising and sponsorship opportunities available. DSTV ad sales, talking to the African continent.
Our country has a unique heartbeat. Our game, its own rhythm. These are our colors, our characters. This is our talent, our style, and our league. The Kenyan Premier League, our football for all of Africa to enjoy. On SuperSport, your world of champions.
Which of the big names will arrive? Get all the action of the FIFA 2010 World Cup qualifiers on your World of Champions. Proudly brought to you by MTN, official sponsor of the 2010 FIFA World Cup. Get all the action of the FIFA 2010 World Cup qualifiers on your World of Champions. Proudly brought to you by MTN, official sponsor of the 2010 FIFA World Cup.